Okay, guys, so we're going to start now with SAS macro automation, which is very, very important. The macro automation, what we're going to do today, it is from the banking to retail projects. And the same automation, you can always try doing that in SQL programming, always try to do that in SAS programming and Python programming, so that you can do a comparison. And this is what exactly when you join a company tomorrow, if they're expecting you should be knowing SAS programming, you should be knowing SAS automation, they actually mean this, what I'm going to show you now. So these are very practical. It's a real-time work, have focused, understand what has been covered in the class. I hope by end of this session, you feel relaxed saying that now I'm all set for appearing any interview with the skill of SAS macro and SAS automation questions comes, I can also answer that. What I'll do here, guys, I'll go back to this expert level programming part. I open this as macro code. I just run this program to active my library. I just come below here, right? So now we'll do it SAS macro programming for automation. This is called banking, loan performance analysis, and a reporting automation. Then we'll be doing second, retail marketing, sales, customer, product, and vendor analytics, reporting, and automation. These three things I'm going to do now. Okay. So how would you go for doing this? First, I'll take you through the data. Now let's have a look at the data which we have it. If I go back to the data in your expert label, if I go back data, I have a data called loan performance data. So let me open this file to you. So it is given here. Let's take an example of one account. The account is, let's say, I want to go for account number 1. When I go to account number 1, it is saying account number 1, it was open in 2013 and it is a credit card. The loan requested amount, the person requested for 2 lakhs. Maybe the eligibility did not come for 2 lakhs, has been given 61 lakh 66,000. Now here, what you see, it is given this LTV. For credit card, there is no LTV. If it is home loan, there is called loan to value. For this is no LTV. The loan tenure which is given for this as a 12, and this is going to be interest rate of 30.38 because credit card rate of interest little higher side, and the EMI which is going to 16,213, and number of EMIs are 9, has been paid out already, and the paid amount is 1,38,000 has been done. Still the balance which is coming to 66,000, and this customer is currently into DPD of 74. That means it is already days past due, 74 delayed, is not made the payment. When origination happened, the score was 679. Current score, if you look for, it is 610. It has gone down. And the agent who has been given, her agent name is called Meera Patnaik. And Meera Patnaik is targeting the customer called Priya Panda. And the customer age is 22. This is where the customer is a professional. Monthly income is 2,82,000, where the spent is 1,90,000. This customer location is currently in Kolkata. Default flag is 0. Last 6 months, delinquent last 6 months is 4 times delinquent is already happened. Last 12 months of 5 times. Last 24 months is 13 times this customer is delinquent. It looks like this is a customer which is a very critical customer to your business. So ultimately what happens, guys, data is given to you, but being a data analyst or data scientist, we have to make this data more insightful. That means we need to transform this data. What is called transformation? So first of all, I will be taking this data now. Though I can do the stuff in Excel, but I want to take everything into your SAS environment now. So what I'll do here, I'll be opening the SAS environment. I'll go to the data. I will say upload the files. I'll go back to data. I have this loan performance data. I just upload it. Now it looks like the data file is taking time because data is used. Go back to this data file, see how many customers information is actually given. It is given around 1 lakh customer, and the sheet name is called account underscore performance. I have to close this file. I'll go back to my program. I will write here options valid var name is equal to v7. I'll write proc import out is equal to SAS underscore mac dot loan underscore data, right? Then I use data file, which is going to be the file path. Then I'll say dbms is equal to xlsx. Replace, I will be putting this way. Then I'll be putting sheet equals to the sheet name, which is called account performance. Then I'll be saying run. I want to show you something, guys, here. Loan performance data, it's a properties. I copy this file path completely and I paste it here. So this is how, if I run this program, I must see there is some error came out. The error came out because I put a semicolon, which I'm not supposed to do that. I should be doing semicolon after DBMS. If I run this program, I see my data has been imported, which is called loan performance data, which is coming now. So what I do here, guys, I will be writing the program. I'm not using any macro. I just want to show you what is required. I'm just going to create here something called as data loan vintage base. And this goes to the work library, set as from my permanent library. I want to read this data. Now, the very next, what I want to do here, I decided that I'll go for defining my length to create from this data file. From this open date, I want to go for an age bucket. So I will say, I'll go for creating a age bucket. Then I will also go for looking at the DPD. I will say delinquent and non-delinquent account first. So I'll say delinquent status. One variable, one I'll create here. Then I'll create delinquency bucket. I want to create those column. Then I want to go for creating a score bucket. Score underscore bucket. Then I want to go for one customer. This is called account vintage. Then I want to go for age underscore bucket. Then I want to go for income bucket. I want to go for FOIR bucket, financial obligation um, income ratio, if financial obligation income ratio FOIR bucket. Then I have created a score bucket. I have created that. Okay. Then I want to go for creating a risk balance segment. Balance segment. Then I'll go for creating something called risk segment. I want to create $50 dot is the length. So these are the variable which I'm creating now, guys. Under my length, I just define these are insights I want to get out of the data. Then I want to go for creating this bucketing system. Now, after defining this length, what I'll do here, I want to go for creating something called as um, account vintage, right? So how will I go for this account vintage? I'll write here. I just want to see if um, if the account open date is greater equal to int nx function, where I want to write month difference, right? Month to what? Today by minus 6 month and s same date. Then do I will say then do I want to give a condition saying that it should be then I will say account vintage is equal to open last 6 months. Open last 6 months. This is how I'll write this. Then again, I'll write the condition here. Else if it is going for 12 months, then this is open for last 12 months. Again, else if this account is open for last 24 months, I will say last 24 months. Are you getting this, guys, what I'm doing here? Right. Then else I will say account vintage equal to equals to open last 24 months plus something like that I am creating. So I just give this as a1 dot. I give this indexing as a2 dot. I give this indexing as a3 dot. I give this indexing as a4 dot. This is how I created my account vintage, and this is the condition for that. Is this clear to all? Now I'll go for delinquency status, and I want to give a condition for this. If DPD is greater than 0, then my delinquency status is equal to yes, right? else delinquency status is equal to no. I give it this way. Then I'll go for the next segment, which is called delinquency bucket. What is the delinquency bucket? I'll start with. If DPD is greater than 180, then my delinquency bucket will be called as charge off. Else, if my delinquency bucket is greater than 90, I'll call this as NPA. Else, if it is greater than 60, I will say that it is 61 to 90 days. Or maybe I'll be giving a separate condition to this. Let's say 30 and let's say 0. Now, else my delinquency status or bucket, I will say current. A1 dot current. This is called A2 dot X days. This is called A3 dot X plus 1 days. Now this is called A4 dot X plus 2 days. And this is A5 dot and this is A6 dot. Then I go for creating next is called score bucket. So what is score bucket? I will say if, look at the file, if current civil score is greater than equal to 800, then the score bucket says that excellent. Else, if this score is greater than 750, we call this as good. If this is, else if this is greater than 600, called average. Now the last condition, which is here, else score bucket is low. So that is what we have to call this as A1 is excellent, A2 is good, A3 is average, and A4 is low. Now we got score bucket. What we'll do now here, we'll go for age bucket. Age bucket will say that if the customer age greater than 60, then the age bucket says they are retired. Else, if age is greater than equal to greater than 50, we call this as mid old age. Again, if I go for greater than 40, I call this customer as a mid age. Else, if this customer is equal to Otherwise, I call this as young age. I call this A1 dot. This is A2 dot. This is A3 dot. And this is A4 dot. Then I move to next. I will say income bucket. What is income bucket? If I look for this data, the monthly income which is coming between 18,000 to 2,99,000. Okay, I will say if the monthly income, guys, remember this is exactly what we do in the industry. Get equal to 1,50,000. Then the income bucket is called high income. Right? Then else, if this monthly income is greater than equal to 1 lakh, then we call this as uh, high mid income. So I say mid income. If it is greater than equal to 50,000, we call this average income. Else, I want to call income as low income. So I'll be starting with A1 dot, A2 dot, A3 dot, and we call this A4 dot. I got income bucket. Then I'll go for creating as FOIR bucket. So what is FOIR? Financial obligation. Guys, my income is 1 lakh. My debt is 70,000. My FOIR will be financial obligation income ratio would be 70,000 over 1 lakh, which will come to how much? 70%. And if FOIR is greater or equal to 55%, bank never gives loan. Is that clear? Right. If FOIR greater than equal to 50%, bank consider customer in financial distress. Do you understand this condition what I have written here, guys? This is for income. Remember, this is for debt monthly. This is the FOIR calculations. Is this clear to all? Everyone, are you getting this?
Yes.
How would you go for giving this? If my monthly income, monthly debt, my monthly debt over my monthly income, right, is greater than equal to 0.55, then FOIR bucket is saying distress. Else, if this is greater than equal to 30.35, it is called high. If this is going to be 0.20, it is called average. else bank consider FOIR is low. Is that clear? We call low FOIR, average FOIR. Then what bank asks? Bank asks for the collateral. So ultimately this should be going as what? A1 dot, A2 dot, A3 dot, A4 dot. This is how we declare our FOIR bucket. After FOIR bucket, what is the next thing? Balance segment. What is balance segment? Balance segment is that loan approved amount versus total balance. You will say outstanding balance if outstanding balance over the loan approved amount. If it is greater or equal to 0.50, then this balance segment says that high balance. Okay. Else, if this is going for 30, this is called critical balance. Critical balance. This is called high balance. Now, point 10, this is called mid balance. Else, we call balance segment as low balance. Okay, got it? Are you getting this, guys? Everyone, guys, are you there with
Yes,
me?
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, next is what? Risk segment. What is the risk segment here? Now, risk segment, I would apply this way. If if I create my delinquency bucket, right, guys? Where it is? Yeah. If delinquency bucket is equal to A1 dot current and right, and balance segment is equal to critical. So we will be calling this as A1 dot, A2 dot, now A3 dot, then say A4 dot. If it is balance is equal to this, then risk underscore segment is equal to very critical. Is this clear? Are you getting this, guys? Then we write else if this is charge of, it is equal to high balance, also very critical. Else if it is charge of, this is equal to mid balance, that is also critical. Then I go for writing this here one more time. Charge of, even if the low balance, that is also going to critical. Now I'll repeat the same thing for now, not charge of, for NPA accounts. When it is going to be NPA, NPA, and NPA, right? Sorry, not here. If it is NPA, if it is NPA and balance is critical, balance is critical, very critical. High balance is critical, very critical. Mid balance is critical. And this also low balance also called critical. Okay. Now, when I take this condition for next, as for not NPA, it will go as what, guys? X plus 2 days bucket. So for X plus 2 days bucket, for critical balance, X plus 2 is always very critical. Now, this is called very critical. This is called critical. It is called uh, high risk. And this is called mid risk. Right? Then again, if it is going with, next is all about your X plus 1 days bucket. X plus 1 days, critical balance. We call this very critical, critical. We call this critical here. We call it high risk. We call this also as mid risk. We call this as low risk. Then next condition for your X plus A2 dot X days. Go like this. If it is greater than 60, consider this critical and this all fine, right? So it is X days over. Else your risk segment should be no risk. So ultimately, no risk is A1 dot. This is A2 dot. This is A3 dot. This is A4 dot. This is A5 dot. Again, this is going to be A2 dot. This is going to A3 dot. This is going to A4 dot. This is going to be A5 dot. Again, this is going to be A3 dot. This is A4 dot. This is A5 dot. And this is A6 dot. Then this is for A5 dot. This for A5 dot. This for A6 dot. Now this is all A6 dot. Right, guys. So what I did here, I created my risk segmentation. Perfect. After creating this segmentation, I want to check my data set. So I just run this query here. So if I run this query, it is giving me my output here, having all these segments is also present now. I can check them all here. Yes, resolve segmentation is coming now to me. Perfect. No issues. Now, what I'll do here next, I want to go for creating reports from this data, which is going to help me to analyze to present business what is going on. What is that report I want to create? Let's say create this as called loan health report. What is called loan health report? What do you want to do with the loan health report? Given this table, I want to see proc SQL create table loan health arch select loan type wise, what is the count of account number as accounts called number of accounts. Then I want to see here sum of approved amount as total loan underscore amount. Then I write here sum of paid amount as total paid underscore amount, sum of outstanding balance as total outstanding. Then sum of outstanding balance divided by sum of approved amount as balance, ratio. Then I go for creating here case. I'll say count, bracket start, case when delinquent status is equal to yes, yes, then account number with end as delinquent account, same way sum of sum of sum of outstanding balance as delinquent balance. I'll do the same thing. When it is no, I say here non-delinquent account. Oh, this is called non-delinquent balance. Then we calculate here calculated field. You call this as calculated field delinquency balance divided by 1 minute, guys. Chart GPT. Calculated field in SAS SQL. We just write calculated. Yeah, it's not calculated field, it's just calculated sometimes. Okay. To calculated as bad loan per account. Same way you would be doing it here, non-delinquent balance over non-delinquent account. As got bad loan, good loan per account. Then you want to do here calculated good loan per account divided by calculated bad loan per account as balance control ratio, right? From what? From the table you created as what? Loan vintage base. Group by 1 minute.
Don't type.
Loan type. And you'll say quit. If you run this program, see what is happening. I got some error saying delinquent account is having error.
In
Oh,
687,
uh,
you have put it non-calculated.
now if you run this program, see what is the output is coming now, guys. Now I'll export this data. I'll show it to you. Number of account, format, comma, 15 dot, format, dollar, 25 dot, right? This is going to be format, percent, 10.2. This is going to be format, comma, 15 dot. This is going to be 25, 25.
In 684 line, the format is spelling.
Sorry.
Sir, in 684 line, format is spelling. F is.
Okay. If we run this query, I got some error. Where I got the error from loan vintage. Oh, I put a comma here. That's a wrong thing. Yes. Now if I run this program, I get my output which is coming. Now let's do one thing, guys. I'll say proc export data is loan health, right? Out file is equal to, let me go to this output folder, properties, copy this file path, paste it over here. I say loan health dot sx dbms is equal to xlsx, replace, then I can say run. Okay. Sheet underscore name, sheet is equal to loan health mis. Nothing, just do this. You can see your file is created here. Right click, download the file, go back, open the file for you. Is the file open? This is giving you a complete report. Can you see this, guys? These all are in what? Format cell to currency format. Let's say Indian rupees. This should be what? Format cell to percentage format. Now I'll just put it over here. Just put it over here. Bad loan per account, good loan per account. The PCR is really, really bad. Is less than 1. That means accounts are going with huge balances. Are you getting this, guys? Are you getting this?
Yes, sir.
Now, this is something we found through account level. Now, let's go back here. I want to see the result, not only by account, loan, portfolio. portfolio health means along with loan type, I want to go for the segment. What segment you want to go for looking at? You want looking at the loan portfolio, let's say risk segment. Right. Now, loan type, risk segment, order by 1, 2. If you run this program, it is auto loan, all the risk segment wise. You can see the count of customer, and definitely when it is delinquent, there is all bad account only. So it's not going to make sense of looking at the balance control ratio calculation for them. So for this, all are bad account, right? So there is no point of doing this BCR calculation for them, right? Bad, good is not required. Rather, you can say simply go here. They have the outstanding balances. Now what ratio they are falling in? So you can say balance ratio is there. In this segment, you can also take two more fields like customer age bucket. That will make sense. And the income bucket. So just go by this segment by age bucket and income bucket. So what it will do here, you can say 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you run this query, you see the result is coming at what? Auto loan, no risk, young age, high income, mid income, low income, this. What is the customer count? What the total loan amount? How much loan paid, outstanding, what is the balance ratio? So you get the complete details of them. Are you getting this, guys, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Right. So this is how we go for creating. So many reports will come out of it. So I just give you some of this idea how to go for creating a report. Is this clear? Is this clear? Now, very importantly,
Sir.
guys, is not about loan type. We also have to write here the first one which we created, the loan vintage, account vintage. If we go by account vintage with loan type in every analysis, that will help us to find out the actual health of the business. 6 months hold for auto loan. What is this for? Now you can do copy this, take this data. If you run this program, now data has been exported. If you right click and download, the file is open. In this file, there are two sheets. One sheet it's showing as portfolio level information. Second, it shows at your 6 months old auto loan. If you go for making a filter on auto loan, or let's say home loan, let's filter on account which is 6 months old. Look for the account those who are critical and very critical. So this is how it shows that how the account segment falls in critical, who are the customer, in very critical, who are the customers. This all information is coming out here. Is this clear now, guys, everyone? Are you
Yes, sir.
getting this?
Yes, sir.
So now how to automate this whole process? This is the question is going to come in. So every other time I will come and I will run this program. I should not be worried like how to go for automate, how to go for running this program. So first of all, right, go back to this code.
Macros.
Yeah, I'll take the same code here. I will just show you guys what I'm doing. I just copy this code here. I put this into percentage macro, percentage MEND. Inside this, I run this program. Now, while I'm creating this macro, what I will do here in a very simple way, I'll call this macro name. What is that? Percentage MEND. Yes, percentage macro. I call this as collection analytics. While I'm defining this collection analytics, I define my macro parameters. The macro parameter says that in underscore data is equal to, then I put a comma, out underscore leave is equal to, then you can give this as called SAS underscore Mac. This is my library name. Now, having said this, when I create my data set, I will be calling this as ampersand. Now, every time I'll be going for ampersand, then this is the library name dot dot, two dot because one is for the library and another one is calling this data set. Now for this, I will be using here that is there, right? Now here I will call this should be ampersand in data dot. Are you getting this, guys? What I'm doing here? Understood?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right. Now, when I will be creating my data set, I created this data set here. Now I create a new data set now. Here I will be calling as ampersand out underscore leave dot dot. You just have to call this before your new dataset has been created. Then this is from the table which is created, loan vintage base. For the loan vintage base, I will be calling this table from here. That is all fine, loan vintage base. This is okay. Oh yes. This is going to be your loan vintage base. We'll also do the same thing here. This. Right. So what I'll do here, when I'll call this percentage, the macro which you created at the top, In data would be the data set which you imported. This is called loan. Which data imported, guys, here? Loan data. So you just have to call loan data. Library name is SAS Mac. That's it. Now you just run this query up to your macro. This the macro is created. The macro is perfectly ready. Every time you just come here and change your data set which you're going to use, lib name, and just run this program after this. See what is happening. It is going to create a data set now. So you don't have to do it next time. Every time you just come and call this macro, that is more than sufficient. Is this clear to all? What I'm doing, guys, here, everyone? I'll
Yes.
Yes,
just
sir.
import the table and I'll call it automatically. My report will create. If you want to go for export also, that is fine. You can keep this query inside this.
Sir, if new data will be updated in the database,
Hmm?
new record, so also it will automatically that updated records also.
What did you say?
Sir,
Hmm?
if we have database, means 500 records, but after some time, 100 records added more, means
So that is
600
fine.
records.
That is fine.
So
Doesn't
it
matter.
takes also updated records also.
Yeah, it is the latest file will take. Na?
Means
It
updated
is,
data it will take
yeah, yeah,
automatically.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
it is we will automate this thing.
Another way, what you can do, guys, here, there is another way to look for automating this. What is this? Let's say your data, the data which you got it here, what is the date? The latest date for this. The account open date, it is given the latest data up to June. June which date is given data up to 24th June. Any account open, that data is also available. Are you getting it? So I can always see going back to the current date, what is the data is available. Is that clear?
Yes.
If you say that I want to go from, I want to get max date to last 6 months and 12 months calculation. What you'll do here, it will say call SYMPUT. It is saying call SYMPUT. You can write the program this way or define macro variable. So you can manually choose the month and year, or you can use call SYMPUT. So you can get the current date. If you want to go for, see, this is the program. I'll show you here. You can call data underscore null. Current date is today's date. Call SYMPUT. Current date is a macro variable. Put current date 9 dot format. Call SYMPUT last 6 months. Put intnx to the current date minus 6 months with 6. So normally the function is written this way. So what will happen now? Right? So when you run this program, what is happening? It is creating two macro variable, which is called current date, which is coming 24th June, 6 months back, which is going to 24th December 2025. Now imagine I want to calculate from this, I given this loan data, right? Is that clear? Data, set this. Now in this data file, I'll write here from account date to get last 6 months old account and 12 months old accounts. You can keep this condition now, get the values. Okay. If you say account open date, where you can see the account open date is less or equal to last 6 months, the macro variable. Then vintage is called last 6 months old. You will say, let's say this is called as version 1 dataset, which you want to create in the work library. Now, if you say 12 months, you can run this program here. 12 months, 24 months, all you can get it. This is called 12 months and this is called 24 months. So 12 months means what? Minus 12, and this is called minus 24, right? So ultimately what you can say, if it is last ampersand to this, else if last 24 months date is called 12 to 24, else older than 24 months. We can give a condition like this from given data. Are you getting this? Guys, are you getting this?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
So we call this as loan data version 1. Since we are defining this and we'll be going like this, let's see what is happening when you run this program. I got some error. Why I got the error, I'll also show you that. Loan account data does not exist. Okay, this is called loan data, not loan account data. Loan data, yes. If you run this program, still got error. Why you got the error? Because, okay, this is coming in this format. So normally in your data, if you go back, look for the loan data, the date is coming in what? MMDDYY format. So if you want to get this value month, you have to give this into which format? MMDDYY
Nine,
10 dot.
10.
Now let's see what is happening. Does it come or not? Does it come? No. MMDDYY 10 dot. Yes. It is coming now. Now, since we are going to look at the date here, call this macro variables. Now this is coming. You can see the vintage is created. Who are the 6 months old? Who are the 12 months old? Who are the 9 months old? All this data is going to come. Is this clear now, guys? Are you getting this?
Yes, sir.
So we can also define through macro variables, and we can call this using SAS macro programming. Okay, so now this is the collection report is over. Now let's do retail marketing automation. What is retail marketing automation? Here is an example to you guys. First of all, did you understand, guys, what I did here, everyone? What I did here, I call current date is a variable which is taking today's date. Then I'm saying that I want to create the current date as a macro variable. I'm saying call SYMPUT X or SYMPUT, that is also fine. Current date is the macro variable name. Put current date into mmdd by 10 dot format. This is my macro variable. Second macro variable last 6 months, which is going to get put intnx a month, 6 months back to current date, with the same date is going to be 6 months back. This is 12 months back, and this is 24 months back. So I have 4 macro variables. I go to this data set, I create new data set saying account open date, which is greater equal to last 6 months old. Then account vintage is last 6 months old account. Account vintage, if it is greater equal to last 12 months data, then it's called this as a 6 to 12 months old account. If last account open date is greater than 24 months, then it's going to call this as what? Your 12 to 24 months old, or maybe we call 13 to 24 months old. Otherwise, accounts are going to older than 24 months. That is how we got the data. Is this clear to all of you guys, everyone?
Yes,
Is this
sir.
clear? Okay. Now let's close this file. We'll go to the next file, which is retail sales data. Now look at the retail sales. Can anyone read this data for me? Guys, can anyone read this data for me? The first field is called transaction ID, order ID, the sales date, customer ID, customer name, customer date of birth is given, customer city is given, product ID is given, product name is given, category is given, who is the vendor for this product is given, quantity, unit price, sales, discount, profit amount, and the payment mode, whether it's net banking, UPI, debit card, credit card, whatever, it is all been captured out here. So this is the data is given to you. Now I want to ask you guys, since you understand this data, tell me, being a data scientist, what comes to your data, what comes to your mind that I can do these are the analysis. Can anyone tell me, guys? What are the analysis I can do out of this data? Tell me, guys.
Sir, from sales data, we can extract month, date, that one.
No, that is fine. But what analysis I can do out of this data?
So we can see which city a maximum sale is happening. And
No, not like this, not like this. Categorize this. I can have a sales analytics. I can have a customer analytics. I can have a
yes.
product analytics. I can have a
Mm,
vendor analytics. That is what I want to do it out of this data. Everyone, yes or
yes.
no?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Now, how would you do these 4 reports? Sales analyst report will go, customer analyst report will go, product analyst report will go, and you will go for your vendor analytics. How would you go for doing this from this data? That is what the question is coming to your mind. So how do you go for creating this from this data set now? So understanding the data which you want to analyze, who are the 6 months old, who are the 12 months from the reporting date, and who are the 24 months, and as well as I'll go for the older data. reporting date. So this is a reporting date is what? This is a reporting date is what, guys?
Sales date.
Sales date, right? So from this sales date, if I say 6 months old, so I have to add 6 months to this, right? Yes or no, guys?
Yes, sir.
So that I can see that what is that happened for last 6 months, last 12 months, last 24 months, how things are happening. What I'll do first, I'll just take this data. Remember the sheet name is transactions. I will go back to this data. I will say upload a file, retail sales data, and close. To read this data, I'll say options, valid, var name is equal to v7, proc import out is equal to SAS underscore mac dot retail underscore sales data file. I will be taking this file path. Then I will write dbms sending these messages disturbing the class. Okay. Now I'll say dbms is equal to xlsx
Replace.
replace sheet name is what, guys?
Transaction.
Transactions. Okay. If I run this program, did I get my output? Yes. What I'll do first, I want to go for doing some analysis from this data. So I'll say data set to this data set. Retail sales version 1. Now, what I will be doing out of this data is that I will say create format. There's a report underscore date, which is going to be, let's say, mmddyy10 dot. From the reporting date, what I'll say, my data, let me open it here. Sales date. First of all, I'll say my report date is equal to my sales date. Is this clear now, guys? If a report date is greater than equals to int nx, I'll write the month to what? To today. Minus 6 months as same date. If it is, then I will say create one period for analysis. The period is going to be, we call this as last 6 months. Else, if the reporting date is 12 months old, I'll say last 12 months. Else if it is 24 months, I will say last 24 months. Else, my period of analysis will be 24 plus months. Is that clear? I call this A1 dot. I call this A2 dot. I call this A3 dot. And I call this as A4 dot. So this is all about my reporting period which I created. Is this clear now, guys, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now I want to go for creating a sales analytics now. So what I'll do in my sales analytics, understand. In this program, I'll be doing sales analytics. I will be doing customer analytics. I will be doing my product analytics. And I'll be doing my vendor
Vendor
analytics,
analytics.
right? So one by one, I'll be going and doing it here. In the sales analytics, I want to write something from the data as proc SQL, create table, and the table name is called sales analytics compare. As select based on the period which I created at the top. I want to see count of distinct customer ID. Oh, sorry. Distinct order ID as total number of orders. Then I'll be going for count of distinct
Customer ID.
customer ID as what?
Total customers.
As unique customers. Yes or no, guys, everyone? Sum
Yeah.
of quantity as total quantity. You know what? What we write here, sum count average, we in Power BI we call this as a DAX expressions, right? So we'll take the data to Power BI, we'll also do the same thing. Now we'll say sum of sales underscore amount as total underscore sales, right? Then sum of discounted amount as total discount. Sum of profit amount as total underscore profit. Okay. Now I will say average sales amount as your average sales. Right. Now, what you want to do here, guys, you want to calculate your calculated total profit over calculated total sales as profit margin. Same way, calculated discount or this as what do you call these guys here? As your discount rate. How do you want to format this? As comma 15 dot. This is also format with comma 15 dot. This is also format with comma 15 dot. This is called format with dollar 25 dot. Now, from the table name what we created here, guys. By period. Order by period. And say quit. If I run this program, what is happening, guys, here? If I run this, appear calculated variable discount amount is referred to the before defined. Okay, total discount is not there. Total, sorry. Now if you run this program, what you see, it is coming by what? How many orders, how many unique customers has given order. This is the total quantity sold out, total sales, total discount, profit is also giving here as how much you got it for average sales, what is the profit margin percentage, and discounted, which is coming here. This is for sales analytics. For the customer analytics, what I'll do here, selecting this table data, set the same table only. I will say customer age. So how do you calculate this customer age? It is given customer date of birth. So which function will you use to get the age, guys, in SAS? INTCK?
INTNX.
Right. INTCK, right?
Yeah,
Now
yeah. Check.
customer date of birth to today, bracket start close. If I close this become age. Highlight here if customer age greater equal to 60, then call them as age underscore bucket is equal to old age. Else, if the customer age is greater than equal to 50, I will be calling this as mid age. Else if it is greater than 40, I call them as mid age. Else, I want to call this here else age bucket is called young age, and you can say run. Now if you run this program, you get your customer age bucket is also coming, correct? Since you got the age bucket, when you say I want to do my customer analytics, so how should I go for doing that? I'll be doing it here proc SQL create table, let's say customer analytics, आज select in this data you are given customer location also city. Select customer city wise age bucket, which is called A1 dot, which is called A2 dot, A3 dot, and A4 dot. You call this city wise, age bucket wise, count of distinct customer ID as unique customers Now count of order underscore ID as total underscore orders. Then sum of quantity as total underscore quantity. Sum of the field name is sales amount as total underscore sales. Sum of now calculated total orders divided by calculated unique customers as order per customer. Same way, calculated sales divided by calculated unique counter customer as spent per customer from, I just said this, group by 1 comma 2, order by 1 comma 2. Guys, we can do many such analysis. I'm just giving you here. This is simply how we can see what happened, guys. Here we have to define a length of each bucket to $30 dot. Now if you run this program, you see the output is coming correct. Hmm. Now you can see by each city wise, customer age bucket wise, we can see the unique count of customer on this. So like that, you can do product analytics also. You can go vendor analytics. So what I'll do here, guys, I have already created those codes. I just want to copy paste here. Right? So I can go for looking at this table here. Now this is an example of my product analytics. This is based on the period. How many products sold out by product ID wise? What is the product ID? Quantity, how much quantity has been sold out? Details is coming. Same thing for vendor. I have also code for vendor here, which I'll be running. So we can find it out for vendor. So we can get this result here for vendor analysis also. For each month old, how many vendors, each vendor wise, what's the total product order they have received. These all details are coming here. So guys, what is that we are trying to do here? So this analysis which is happening, it can also be automated. For this automation, what we do here, let me show you this end-to-end code here. Right. So first of all, what I'm doing here in this program, I create a macro called retail comparison report. I use my in data. Then I say, this is all about my SAS Mac is a library. In this, I'll take my sales date as my date variable. I go to this program. I say outlive. This is my library name, which is called here as a macro variable to create detail base. Outlive. This is going to be in data, what the data set which you created. So the data set which we have created at the top, which is called as this data set. So ultimately what is happening is here, when we are creating a macro, we don't define, I just want to say you that this is the data set which we created. I'm calling this from this data set, but I'm not defining data set here. I call this in data as my library over here. Then I'm creating report date. Date is equal to date where is taking the sales date. Now sales date, if I'm saying as per this INTNX month of today to 6 months back, 6 months old, this is called as your period which we created. Else we call this as not delete as a period which is called 24 months plus. Okay. When I run this, this is going to create as what? So this is the data set which is created called detail base. Now from this detail base, we are getting the sales analytics here. Outlive is the library name, sales analytics compare table. Then customer analytics compare table. Then you have a product analytics compare table. Then we have a vendor analytics compare table here. Then we go for creating this comparison report in data as retail sales, which you are creating. You just call the macro variable to this here. So this is one macro where you are going to call all the comparison report. Now for this comparison report here, what I'm calling my in data is equal to my in data. Just a minute. In data is equal to, this is my data set name, retail sales, which I imported the file. So I'll just call here in data is equal to this and sales data. Now, if I run this program, it will automatically create my four. See, I got some error. I'll check this error where it is coming. SAS Pros is not there. So because we call this as SAS Mac. So when we call this program below here, it should be SAS Mac library, SAS underscore Mac library. So now if you run this program, you see your data is coming perfectly. So ultimately all the data set is created. If you run this program, your all data set has been created here. You can check that. Check it up. No error. Check here, guys. If it is creating vendor entity data set, it's not creating the vendor entity data set. Where is the error? Oh. Run this program to get this output. The quoting string currently being processed has become 260 bytes. You might have unbalanced quotation mark. Okay.
So should we mention the length in the period?
1 minute. No, it is not about, it is also not reading the data. So why it is happening, guys? Because we run the code with some error. That's why it is happening. The moment I save this and I run, it will definitely get you the output. Now, what I'm trying to do here, guys, let me explain you. First of all, we are creating a macro now. Forget about what we did in the before. In this macro, name is called retail comparison report, where I'm creating 3 different macro variables. So normally the program is written this way, right? So we call this as first keyword parameter is in data. Second keyword parameter is outlib is equal to SAS Mac. Third parameter is taken as data date var is equal to sales date value. That's how you have written this. Now this is the macro parameter is called. Calling this program, you are going for in data. In data is what? You have imported the retail sales file, which has been called as retail data. So you are reading this data from this file and you're storing this file to us retail base data set. From this, you are creating this report. Date is date 9 dot. Report is going to be this format. Then your data is actually given as mmddyy10 dot format. Now, which you are trying to compare to find out the period for 6 months, 12 months, 24 months, and 24 months. This is the first dataset which you created for retail base. From this retail base, you are creating a sales analytics, which is called outlive with retail base. You create this outlive in SAS Mac library, sales analytics compare report you are creating. Then you are creating outlive in SAS Mac as a library. You are creating your customer analytics report. Then outlive is going for creating the product analytics reports, a simple SQL programming here. Then you are going for the vendor analytics comparison report. Now, how do you call this report now? You call this, the report name is retail comparison report. In data is equal to retail sales. You are calling this here called library name is equal to SAS Mac. And date sales is equal to sales date. That's what you're using to call this macro. Now, when your macro is ending here, now you can run the program. You can see your sales analytics, vendor analytics, all the report will be created. What is happening here? Since I imported, let me go for importing this file for you one more time. When I go for importing this data, see what is happening. Retail sales, gone, transactions. If I run this query, note the code string currently being processed has become more than 262 bytes long. You might have unbalanced quotation mark. Doesn't matter. If I stop this, If I stop this program now, save this file and close it, if I open it, it will definitely run. Now let's try this here. I stop this and I close this here and I say yes. Now let me go back to lunch again. Now let me go back here to click on my code. I'll just run my Mac. SAS Mac is the library name. I go back to the last code where we have to go for importing the data. This is where we're importing the data. This time it is importing the file. Now, if I go back, run the query here, I believe it should be able to give me the data. I got the error. Now check this error where it is coming. Column name cannot be determined. Which column name? Default all character.
Sir, I think there was two dots in line number 1062. 1062.
1062. So that is right. 1062. Right.
Yeah. MMDD Wi-Fi 10 double dots.
Mm. Now run this program. Now it is working fine. Thank you. So we
Yes.
have sales analytics report. We have vendor analytics report. We have custom analytics report. We have product analytics report. All this report has been created here. So this is how, guys, we go for the automation, writing the SAS program. Every other time we just have to import the data and we call this here, and this is called execution. In stored procedure in SQL, we call execute the procedure. In Python, we call these functions to be called. Now in SAS, we call this as macro to be called. So this is my macro name, and this is the parameter values which I'm applying here to call this entire program. Every other time I don't repeat this, I will just go and call the import the file, run the program, my output will automatically come and it will be stored for the reporting part. Is this clear now, guys, how automation works in real time?
Yes, sir.
Right. So there is something called, guys, SAS macro debugging options. So what is called debugging options? Now let me show you here. Let me go for importing this data set, which is called May 2026, which has been imported now, right? What is the meaning of debugging, SAS macro debugging? I'll show this here to you. Called SAS macro debugging options. If you have a program, you use options mprint. What will happen if you write mprint here? With this program, what is happening? Go to the log window. In mprint says that how these macro variables are getting resolved. It's saying data made is resolved by CIPLA. Now your company ampersand cum val is CIPLA. Gender value as female. Age is 60 and state code as New South Wales. It's showing in the below program, mprint shows how your macro variables are getting resolved. Does it make sense to all of you guys, everyone?
Yes, sir.
So what mprint is doing, it is going to give you in the log window how these macro variable values are being called in the program. If you're using options m logic, how it will work, guys? If you run this program, right, in the beginning execution, it is saying that the macro program is going to resolve by comp name as Cipla, comp val as Cipla, gen val as female, age value as 60, state value as New South Wales. That is how it is resolved in the program. It is another way to debug the macro program. Then the last one, which is called symbol gen. You can go for symbol gen. What is symbol gen is going to do here? It is going to give you the complete details here. It's saying that parameter comp name is Cipla, comp val is Cipla, gen val is female, age val is 60, state val is NSW. Now company name resolves as Cipla. It is resolved here. Then is going by these variables. Macro variable comp value results as Cipla, gen value results as female, age value results as 60, state value results as New South Wales, and how it has been called in the program, it shows step by step. So when you say symbol gen, it gives you the value of mlogic, it gives you the value of mprint, it also gives the value of symbol gen, which shows in the program where these macro variable values are being called up. Is this clear to all, everyone?
Yes, sir.
The
Yes,
most
sir.
powerful is called symbol gen. Second one, percentage put. What is percentage put? To debug macro variable. For example, if I write percentage let city is equal to, I write Bangalore. When I say percentage put ampersand city dot, what will happen in the log window? It will show you that this city value is Bangalore in single quote. Why? Because you are given single quote. Had it been given only Bangalore, if you run this program, it will give you the value is just Bangalore. City value is resolved as Bangalore. Macro value city resolves to Bangalore. This is how we can go for debugging options. You can say in SAS macro, we can debug the program in 4 ways. What are the 4 ways? Using options, mprint, second option, options, mlogic, third option, options, symbol gen, fourth options, which is called as what? Percentage put. Is this clear to all? Everyone, is this clear?
Sir.
Yes, sir.
So we have completed now whole macro programming in SAS, and also 2 automations what we have done. Very importantly, guys, they will ask you questions on this, how to go and call back last 6 months, last 12 months, use of call SYMPUT X with this put, and how to identify the new variable name for 6 months, 12 months, 24 months to be called from the current date. So they will be asking such questions to you. You should be knowing how